In the 1980s, China's Air Force, once heavily reliant on reverse-engineered Soviet relics, was far from being seen as a major player in modern aerial combat. Fast forward to today, and the Chengdu J-10, nicknamed the Vigorous Dragon, has earned its place in the global fighter jet arena. This sleek, agile, and deadly aircraft has defied expectations, reflecting not just technological progress, but a dramatic evolution in China's aerospace ambitions. The humble origins of a powerhouse. Let's rewind to 1981. The Cold War was intensifying, and the People's Liberation Army Air Force was limping along with the J-7 and J-8 derivatives of outdated Soviet aircraft from the 1950s. These jets, though numerous, were embarrassingly behind the times. Determined to catch up, the People's Liberation Army Air Force top brass pushed for an indigenous next-generation fighter that could rival the best. Surprisingly, the Chinese leadership approved the project and allocated 500 million yuan to get it started. Three state-run firms pitched their visions. Shenyang Aircraft Corporation proposed something akin to the American F-16. Hongdu Aviation leaned toward a MiG-23 lookalike. But it was Chengdu Aircraft Industry Group that won the contract with a bold delta-wing design featuring canards somewhat reminiscent of Sweden's Saab Viggen. Critics often claim China merely mimicked European designs, but in reality, the Chengdu proposal was rooted in a previous, cancelled effort known as the J-9, an ambitious, single-engine fighter concept from the 1970s that never took flight. This earlier experience helped Chengdu leapfrog several design hurdles. The visionary behind the jet. Leading the J-10's development was Song Wenkong, an engineer who would eventually become a legend in Chinese aviation. His mission? Build China's first truly modern fighter jet with advanced aerodynamics, fly-by-wire systems, and a domestically developed engine, the WS-10. However, building a cutting-edge fighter is no walk in the park. Development dragged through the 1980s and into the early 90s. Funding dried up, national priorities shifted, and then came a wake-up call that jolted Chinese military planners back to reality. The Gulf War of 1991. American F-15s and F-16s effortlessly swept Iraqi MiGs from the sky. Alarmed, China realized just how far behind they were. As a quick fix, they purchased Su-27s from Russia and began license building them at home. But in parallel, work on the J-10 resumed with renewed vigor. Engines, espionage, and the Israeli connection. One major snag was the WS-10 engine. It simply didn't work. It lacked reliability and power. As a result, engineers opted to integrate the Russian AL-31FN, the same engine used in the Su-27. This decision required significant redesigns to accommodate the different airflow and structural needs. Here's where things get interesting and slightly conspiratorial. A strikingly similar jet called the Israel Aircraft Industries Lavi, developed by Israel in the 1980s, had been cancelled just before China's J-10 re-entered serious development. Both aircraft share a Delta Canard configuration and a single-engine layout. Could the J-10 have been influenced or even partially derived from the Lavi? There's no concrete proof of espionage, but there are breadcrumbs. In 1986, an Israeli delegation visited China, and around that time, China began producing Israeli Python 3 missiles under license. The Lavi's blueprints were sitting unused, and Israel was shifting toward acquiring American-made jets. Many analysts speculate that at best, China received unofficial guidance, or, at worst, actual blueprints via third-party deals or covert channels. China, of course, denies all of this, claiming the J-10's lineage traces back to their indigenous J-9 project. The truth may never be known, but the resemblance is uncanny. Taking to the skies. The first flight. On March 23, 1998, after nearly 2 decades of work, the J-10 finally took flight. Test pilot Li Gang piloted the maiden voyage, marking a pivotal moment for Chinese aviation. The jet's futuristic silhouette sliced through the sky, a visual testament to how far Chinese aeronautics had come. officially entering service in 2004 and becoming fully operational by 2006. The early J-10A variant marked China's debut in fourth-generation fighter technology. About 150 units were produced during this phase, forming the backbone of China's lightweight fighter fleet throughout the 2000s. Yet the J-10A was not without flaws. Its avionics lagged behind global standards. It lacked cutting-edge missiles, and its ground strike capabilities were rudimentary. But China was just getting started. A whisper before the thunder, the J-10B. In 2008, China unveiled the J-10B, though it wouldn't enter service until 2013. Outwardly, the changes seemed subtle. Underneath, however, the jet had undergone a technological revolution. One of the most transformative changes was the switch to a diverter-less supersonic inlet, a simpler, lighter air intake that reduced radar visibility and improved performance. This wasn't just window dressing. It brought the J-10 closer to stealth capabilities and better high-speed handling. The nose of the aircraft was reshaped to accommodate what experts believe is an active electronically scanned array, or passive radar, both huge improvements over the J-10A mechanical radar. Combined with modern digital displays, glass cockpits, and hands-on throttle and stick controls, the J-10B was the bridge between an experimental platform and a true multi-role fighter. Although still powered by the Russian AL-31, the airframe was designed to eventually accommodate the improved Chinese WS-10 engine, still a work in progress at the time. Interestingly, only a limited number of J-10Bs were produced. It was more of a stepping stone, a test bed for features that would eventually mature in the next version. Enter the J-10C, a fighter to be feared. In 2013, the J-10C took its first flight, entering full service by 2016. This was the real deal, a modern multi-role fighter that could hold its own on the global stage. By now, China had refined its active electronically scanned array radar technology and equipped the J-10C with the KJ-10, a radar system. This radar gave it the ability to track and engage multiple targets, even in cluttered or jammed environments. The J-10C also introduced the PL-10, a high maneuverability, short-range missile comparable to the American AIM-9X. More shockingly, it came armed with the PL-15, a long-range, radar-guided missile with an estimated range exceeding 200 kilometers. Equipped with active electronically scanned array radar seekers and mid-course data links, the PL-15 is considered by many to outperform the American AIM-120D and even rival Europe's Meteor missile. Now the J-10 was not just good enough, it was a serious threat. The engine problem. So, with all this power, why were not foreign buyers lining up? One word: engines. Since the J-10C used Russian engines, Moscow had veto power over any export. Russia was not keen to greenlight a jet that could undercut their own offerings. Thus, until China could replace the engine with a fully domestic version, exports were off the table. Eventually, China fielded the WS-10B engine, its own answer to the AL-31. While it matched the Russian engine in thrust, the service life remained a concern, ranging from 1,500 to 2,400 hours, well behind Western standards. Nonetheless, it was good enough to break the dependency on Russian tech. That's when Pakistan, a longtime Chinese ally and arms customer, stepped in. Combat proven. Blood over Kashmir. In 2025, tensions flared along the line of control between India and Pakistan, leading to one of the most significant air clashes in recent history. Reports from Pakistan claim that J-10CEs, the export variant, armed with PL-15s, successfully shot down multiple Indian aircraft, including MiG-29s and possibly even French Rafales. India denied losing a Rafale, but debris from a PL-15 was photographed on Indian soil. At least one Rafale, a MiG-29, and a Mirage 2000 were confirmed downed. For the first time, the J-10 had drawn blood. More importantly, China now had real-world combat data on both the jet and its missile systems, a priceless asset for any defense industry. A new player on the global market, the J-10C performance and its price has attracted new interest. Egypt has reportedly considered purchasing the jet, and with the war in Ukraine forcing many countries to reevaluate their reliance on Russian arms, China stands to gain. Pakistan paid around $75 million per aircraft, a complete package with training, maintenance, and armaments. That's a steal compared to Western options, many of which cost well over $100 million per unit. As of today, over 350 J-10s have been produced for the Chinese Air Force and Navy. It's not a stealth platform like the J-20, nor as heavy as the twin-engine J-16, but it's a versatile, reliable workhorse. And that wraps up the story of the J-10 Vigorous Dragon, from underdog beginnings to frontline powerhouse. If you found this video fascinating, smash that like and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and until next time, fly safe and stay curious.